I know there's a lot of elements that seem like a scam, but then a lot of it doesn't.
This man wants to know the truth about his internet girlfriend.
I got a random text from somebody I didn't know. We just started talking, and then it kind of went from there. Long, dark hair, sweet and wholesome, and just the kind of girl that everybody wants.
He's never had a long-term relationship. He feels like that's because of his disability.
Jim felt Sonia was the love of his life. She was sweet, pretty, and smart. She even showed him how to invest his money.
She was a data analyst at a financial company. I told her I was going to sell my house, and I told her that I'd be willing to invest a significant portion of the funds. She said that she would match dollar for dollar anything that I put in. This is how we're going to buy a house, and this is how we're going to fund our life. We were going to move to Hawaii.
After growing his account to $1 million,
the money's stuck on the blockchain, and I can't access it.
Jim reached out to the Catfish crew for answers.
I think the biggest thing is finding out where the money went. Holy crap.
Part of me over here is going, okay, red flag, and I'm over here going, but at least if I know she's real, then I can go from there.
But you see where this is headed?
Right. It's not going to be good.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement with our videos help us reach new audiences and can potentially stop other people from being scammed.
All right, team, we have a new case. It's from a guy named Jim who lost over $285,000. I think it might be a pig butchering scam, but Drew, you want to read the email?
Sure. My name is Jim, I'm 58, and I met a woman named Sonia after she accidentally texted the wrong number. We eventually fell in love, video called several times, and started planning a future together. She introduced me to crypto investments that seemed completely legitimate, and I was even able to withdraw money at first. So I eventually invested nearly my entire $287,000 nest egg. Then Sonia was supposed to fly to Los Angeles to finally meet me. I waited at LAX, but the airline told me she was never on the flight. Soon after that, she disappeared. And when I tried to withdraw my money, I couldn't get it out. Now I need to know, who was this woman I was video chatting, and where did my $287,000 actually go? Jim.
My name is Jim, I'm 58 years old, and I live in Southern California. I initially was a welder out of high school. I got hurt on the job back in the 90s, so I went into office work and pretty much did that until my boss passed away in 2012, and then we kind of took over his business. I was born with cerebral palsy. I've been told I have a very mild case. All I know is that it doesn't get any worse and it doesn't get any better. It just kind of is what it is. I'm one of those people that if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna do it just to spite you. I might do it a different way than you, but I'll find a way to get it done. Because I can't be the other way where you just lay there and do nothing. There's too much life to live for that. Yeah, there haven't really been too many relationships in the past. Normally people see a disability and it's automatic turn off. I mean, there's a bunch of friends over the years, but none of them progressed very far. I turned to online stuff, back when it first came out, when I was building websites, and nothing ever really came of it.
Jim has been looking for a girlfriend practically his whole life, but that would change when he received a mysterious text message from a woman.
Yeah, back in June of last year, I got a random text from somebody I didn't know, and they were looking for a friend of theirs, and I told them, it was the wrong number. Then they apologized, and I said, don't worry about it, no big deal. They wanted to buy me coffee for the inconvenience or whatever that they had caused, and I kept telling them, it was no big deal, it's just a text, don't worry about it. This person said I was really nice, and we just started talking, and then it kind of went from there. But mostly it was just, getting to know them like you would anybody else. I told her that I don't really meet people that, go out of their way to be that nice. So I was curious what she looked like, so I had her send me a picture. She was in her late 30s, long dark hair, kind of an oval kind of face, more like model quality. Just seemed really nice and down to earth. She just seemed, sweet and wholesome and just the kind of girl that everybody wants. And she never portrayed anything different, so I just came to believe that she was that way. Because I asked her, why she wasn't married, because I think back then she was 38, And it's kind of rare for somebody that age to, not be married, no kids, whatever. She had said that she was married before, but her husband had died during COVID. And he was helping a patient and contracted it. And she was in another room and actually watched him die on the monitor. She was born here in the US, but she grew up the first 5 or 6 years of her life in a country called Belarus, somewhere out by the Ukraine. When I first met her, she was in New York. And then a couple weeks later, she went to Seattle, Washington. She was a data analyst at a financial company. Say if you have a 401k or something and you don't know where to put your money, you go to them and they work out a financial plan for you. She said there was 13 people on her team, and one guy would look at like the news and one guy would look at the price of cryptocurrency or whatever. She had me create a crypto wallet, showed me how to deposit the funds on that platform. Then she walked me through a couple of trades. They were boxes of different time frames, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 180 seconds, and I think 240 or something was the biggest one. We started with 1,000, and I think I'd put in like maybe 400 or something like that. And I made like $600 or $700 in about 5 minutes. She actually showed me how to transfer the funds off of the platform. And then she said, well, I just want to show you what I'm used to, because she kept telling me that money doesn't matter, it's nothing. And I kept telling her, but it's $1,000 and we just almost made 40% in like a couple of minutes. That's significant. And that's when I started thinking, okay, well, I need to put more money in this. It started getting a lot more personal, and the I love yous and all that came, and for the most part we were an online couple, for lack of a better phrase. I did think of, what's in it for her and why is she doing this? She said the main reason was that there was a lot of dark times in her life after her husband died, and she said that I made her forget about a lot of that. But then as our relationship progressed and she decided she wanted to come out and be with me, and I told her I wanted to move out of state, she was going to retire. I told her I was going to sell my house. We were going to move to Hawaii. And I told her that I'd be willing to invest a significant portion of the funds. And that's when she said that she would match dollar for dollar anything that I put in. This is how we're going to buy a house, and this is how we're going to fund our life and all this stuff.
Up until this point, Jim fell head over heels for Sonia, and the two had big plans for their future life together. Jim put his home on the market, and it sold in no time.
I got paid through escrow, and I was trying to move the money from my bank to the trading platform, Fidelity. They thought maybe it was a scam, so they wanted information about Sonia, and they wanted her driver's license or a picture of her holding it. And so I told her that, and she was really reluctant because she said, I don't have an account with them. I don't know them. Why should I give them all that? And I kept telling them they won't release my money until you do. So she didn't take a picture of her license with her holding it, but she took a video of it, of the front and back, and sent that to me. Once I got a screenshot of the front of her license, I took it to the DMV and I asked the lady behind the counter, I said, is this a real ID? But she looked at a couple different points on the license and she said, yeah, it was genuine. That too made me think, okay, this person's real. But in the meantime, she went to her bank and she withdrew $300,000 and deposited into that account. And so then finally my money was added to it. And I think altogether we had like 588,000 or something, because I wasn't able to put in quite 300, but I put in close to it. And then we started trading from there. I would send her a screenshot of what I was looking at. She would say, click here, and then type in this much that we're going to trade with. And then she would say, okay, when the time gets to say like 2 o'clock, then you hit the go button, because she was waiting for the trade to get set up. So the counter would come up and then it would count down 2 minutes. It made like 120 in 2 minutes. Immediately after that, she said, okay, this time put in like 500,000, and it made 320,000. So the account grew very quickly. I just told her, let me know when the next trade is set up. I waited around all day for her to text me and tell me, okay, let's do it. And she never did. And then later that night, she finally texted me and said the trade never set up correctly, so it got canceled. Because there was a bunch of money in the account, I just figured I want to pull at least my initial investment back out. It failed. Initially, everything on the app was working fine. And then I went to pull up the customer service page and it was blank. It wouldn't load. And I restarted my phone. It still wouldn't load. But right now the money's stuck on the blockchain and I can't access it.
The trade fell through and Jim's crypto account was locked with nearly $1 million in limbo. Sonia assured him the money was safe and could be withdrawn once everything was resolved. But Jim had just sold his house, leaving him to find somewhere to live while he waited for Sonia to retire so they could buy their dream home together.
I told her I wasn't going to be able to afford very much rent. And she told me that she would pay my rent. And I told her, I said, okay, what's the budget going to be? And she said, up to $3,000 a month. And so I said, okay. And I found a place for the first month. She sent me the $3,000 to cover the rent. And I kept asking her when she's flying out. And she said, well, I'll send you a picture of my airline ticket, so I can come pick her up at the airport. And I looked up the details on the airline's website, and it was a real flight coming in to LAX, exactly when she said. I went down there to meet her, and she wasn't on the plane. And so when I got back to the car, there was a text message from her. And she had said that her dad had called her earlier that morning. Her mom was hospitalized with a heart condition, and she had to change her flight to San Francisco, and she was going to be back in LA in a few days. I let it go until the next morning, didn't hear anything, and I just sent a text like, hey, how's your family doing? Didn't hear anything. And so I started talking to a couple of my friends, and they were the ones telling me, like, some people, they just pull back or whatever, so I gave her time.
Jim was left with all of the money from the sale of his home locked in this account. Sonia had also stopped paying the rent on his new apartment, leaving him wondering every day if he would ever meet this woman face to face.
About 2.5 weeks, and I haven't heard a peep from her. And that's when I started poking around and I contacted you guys. And I know there's a lot of elements that seem like a scam, but then a lot of it doesn't. I really want to know if she's real or not. At least if I know she's real, then I can go from there. But if she's not real, then my life's going to go in a different direction. Because everything was based off of, being with her and then moving on. And then, plus the investments, I really need to get at least my portion back. My whole life is turned upside down. But just the fact that she was willing for me to come out there, or she said, and that she paid my rent, that was just one more piece that, part of me over here is going, okay, red flag, and I'm over here going, but, you know what I mean? Because I know what's going to happen. A bunch of people are going to see this, and they're going to go, oh, he should have known, it's so obvious, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but what about all this?
If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And once you've done that, give this video a like too.
Hi Seekers, we'll get you back to the video right away. I have something extremely important to talk to you about. We recently built a site called scamcomplaints.org, and it would mean the world to us if you would share this with everybody you know. We've revolutionized the way that scams are reported with this website. The way it works is you go to scamcomplaints.org. If you've been scammed, there are 2 types of reports you can fill out. One is a longer report. One is just filling out basic information like email addresses, phone numbers, or just reporting profiles. We take all that information and we share it to law enforcement, banks, and websites. So if the person has scammed anybody else, it alerts those sites right away. And it also increases the chance of something positive happening on your end. If you don't need it, share it with everybody you know. And if you've been scammed, go to the website, fill it out right now. We'll make sure that that information gets passed along to the right authorities. You'll even get a downloadable PDF at the end.
The next day, our team got together to come up with a game plan on how we were going to verify Sonia and help Jim out.
I think this case is crazy because this has to be one of the largest amounts of money that someone's lost this fast. It literally happened instantly.
If he would have walked away before sending money, he would have been net $4,000 positive because this person sent him $4,000 before even getting $1 from him.
If I was in his position and I got $4,000, I would kind of think It's kind of legit, right?
Yeah, she's feeding him green flags, so he thinks it's real.
Not just that, but he had feelings for her. So they had this relationship. They're saying the I love yous. This person supposedly coming to see him. After he deposited the funds, they still talked to him. They said they were coming to see him. And he's in our backyard. He went to LAX to go meet up with her and then got stood up. And then shortly after that, then they disappeared.
And I've already kind of gone through some of the assets and things that you guys have pulled. I mean, he got like 100 photos from her. So we have a lot to look into, right?
Exactly. So we have photos. There's also videos too that he was sent. Supposedly they video chatted, so we got to figure out like what happened with that. And then there's this mysterious company in Colorado that actually received the entire wire transfer.
I feel for this guy. When he was here, he talked about his cerebral palsy. He's never had a long-term relationship. He feels like that's because of his disability. And now he sold his house. His entire retirement is down the drain.
I mean, that would scar me for life. Like my first, like what I thought real relationship, and then all of a sudden they take $289,000 from me.
So how do we help this guy out?
I think the biggest thing is finding out where the money went. Whenever there's a wire transfer, I get a little excited because there's at least somewhere to go with this. This is not crypto that we can trace and cross our fingers and hope that law enforcement gets involved. This is an actual bank that received funds, $284,000, literally only weeks ago. So I think that's the best place to start. You know, let's definitely look into the images. We have a suspicion that it's a scam anyway, but let's see if we can find the real person, give them some peace of mind, but go after the person that received the funds in the bank account.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go.
With a bunch of images, videos, and this crypto website that we could check into, it was time to dig into some of this stuff so we could get back to Jim with all of the answers to all of his questions.
All right, Cam, so it looks like we have a lot of information to sift through. One of the interesting things that I see when you sat down with him, you uploaded a bunch of photos. What's going on with these?
Yeah, so he gave me like 200 photos. I went through them, and some of them, it seems like it was taken from a social media profile perhaps, but there were a lot of them that were obviously AI.
I agree with you. What's interesting, there are a lot of these videos and some of these look real.
Best on this day. Be careful.
And then others.
Baby, I love you and I believe you can understand that everything I do is for our bright future. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Like that one's so fake. The voice is different from the last video. And then there's no voice inflections. So, you know, when we talk, our voice goes up and down. There's like none of that. And then this video is her doing these like poses and it looks like a real social media video. Is that what you were talking about?
That's what I think too. I think that one looks real.
Yeah, some of them are like AI, like definitely AI. Like she has coffee and there's this perfect steam coming. Like if it was cold, I could see a little steam coming off, but it's this perfect steam that's coming off. There's no way that that's real. Where does she say she's from?
Seattle.
Seattle. I think one interesting thing we can do is we can show like where the pictures were taken. So there's like the washing machine one, the needles in the background. And so if we can go and we can try to find where that apartment is and see if it's even an apartment.
Oh, that'd be
You see what I'm
sick,
saying?
yeah.
So I think we can do that. Okay, let's look up her address.
So he told me that he actually drove to this address in Laguna Beach and the house is under construction.
So if you look right here, there's an architectural drawing in Zillow of what the house is gonna look like. So there's an arrow right here and that it doesn't even exist. And none of the pictures that she sent were of an address overlooking the ocean like this.
But if the house isn't even built yet, why would that be on her California driver's license?
You can't, you have to have mail sent to an address. So unless she has like a mailbox, she's not gonna have that sent. And then not just that, but on the license. So if you go to the license date, it's in 2024.
So she would have been living on an empty lot.
Yeah, 2 years, like over 2 years ago. Like it doesn't seem realistic. The next thing we're gonna look into is this wire transfer that he sent, and the business that he sent it to is Link Pay Limited in Colorado.
Let's look it up first and see what's there.
Cameron, this is a mailbox. It's just a mail center. At that address, there's a company called Link Pay Global, your trusted partner in global payments. So I'm shooting him an email basically saying, hey, like somebody wired money into your account. Like I need help investigating this. So this is a big deal. Like, we know exactly where the money went. The drawback is this company, they basically have like a card issuing and transaction platform. So I don't know if the money went somewhere else, but hopefully they get back and then they can help us track down where this money went to. I would assume they would have transferred it into some other account, whether it be a crypto account or something else. So hopefully we hear back before we meet with Jim. But this is a big clue. This is a really big clue. One of the last things that we have this website, right? EDX Crypto. It says, please connect your wallet. Holy crap. I use this thing called MetaMask. It's a wallet that it's connected to your cryptocurrency. And right when I went to this website, it tried to open my MetaMask wallet to log in and connect to the site. But like, you go to this site, like actually going to the site looks super shady. There's a real marketplace, EDX. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to emulate that website. So they use EDX. In fact, in the website, it says EDXM. So they're trying to essentially pretend to be EDX markets, but it's called edxcrypto.com. So it's a fake website. It's only 2 years old. EDX has been around a lot longer than that. And there's tons of people saying that they've had similar websites where they've had similar crypto scams where they had to deposit money in. As soon as they did, they couldn't take the money out. So I think we just have a few more things to look into. Let's hope to hear back from LinkPay, but this is definitely a scam. And let's sit down with Jim and let's reveal what we found.
The investigation uncovered several key details that Jim needed to see, so he made a drive to our office to sit down with David in person and go over everything that was found.
Jim, thanks for coming out to the office today.
No, thank you.
How have you been feeling? I know you were here last week. You sat down with Cameron. You gave us all this information. From then until now, like, how have you been feeling?
I've never been in a situation like this, so it's a new feeling for me.
You had said that you feel like you've been scammed. And I noticed that you opened your phone and you still have her picture on your phone.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I'm still hoping there's a chance. I'm thinking maybe there's some just big misunderstanding or some extenuating circumstances or whatever where it would all kind of make sense.
I want to start with these phone numbers because one thing that was really interesting is there were a lot of phone numbers that were rotated. Why did this person change phone numbers all the time?
She said one was her cell and one was her work phone. And then she said that something happened to her phone and she had to get a new one, so she had to get a new number.
So let me look into these numbers. We use a few different tools to link phone numbers with contact information for people. Jim, when you create an account online, what happens is you typically use like the same phone number that's connected to your account, the same usernames, the same email across the internet. And so we call these footprints. And so when we look individuals up and we do investigations, we look for these cues, these footprints. And what this does is it tries to actually log into these accounts using this contact information. If those accounts are associated with that number, it returns information. These numbers have multiple Facebook accounts that are associated with them. These people are in their 70s. This person's in their 60s. I think what's happening is, so they were talking to somebody, the person said, hey, you're gonna get a code from WhatsApp. They gave the code and now the person has it. And that's why they've changed phone numbers so many times. None of these phone numbers are associated with a Sonia whatsoever.
I didn't know it was that easy to take somebody's number, and it's a little scary.
You've probably received the most pictures out of any case that we've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you have hundreds of pictures.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was sending them to me like almost every day.
Is there anything that stands out from this picture?
The steam in the coffee cup doesn't look right.
It's too perfect, right? If I was an artist and I was gonna draw a picture of hot coffee, that's what I would draw. It's not realistic to have that much steam and that perfect of steam coming off your coffee.
Right.
Is there anything kind of weird about this picture? Just the way she's sitting and then the pillow.
Well, I mean, now that I look at it, it doesn't look like her head is leaving an impression on the pillow.
Exactly. So I did find the real person in some of the images. And so here's the real person in the pictures right here. She's actually a webcam model. And so what happened, Jim, is that you were given 2 or 3 real pictures. Mm-hmm. And then what they did is they generated AI pictures. And so if you look at the AI pictures, it looks like a different person.
Wait a minute, I'm a little confused though. If those pictures of her were AI generated, then how can the video?
The video's real.
Right, but what I'm saying is the face in the video matches the pictures. If they fake the pictures, how can the video be real?
Let me show you something really quickly. I just go in here, I take a real picture of you, and then I just tell the AI what to do. So I just said, hey, look, make this guy sitting in Planet Fitness, smiling, holding an ice cream cone. So it's a totally different picture where I can add myself to a photo. And so I can make myself in the gym sitting behind you. And so this person sent you pictures every day. Do you see how it only took me maybe 2 minutes to create a picture? With AI, you just gotta find the small things that are out of place. And that's why I pointed out her laying on the pillow. That's why I pointed out the steam coming off the cup. Right. Things that maybe you didn't notice right away because you're like, oh, this is like my beautiful Sonia that I'm talking to every single day. So I do wanna show you one more thing. So we have the housing address. And so this person supposedly had their driver's license attached to it a few years ago, but the house was never built at that time. Even looking at the ownership records for the house, it was never under Sonia's last name. So Sonia told you that she was living in this house. There's just no way she could, because essentially it was a piece of property and they're just building the house right now.
I went to that house.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine looked up property records. He actually got the owner's name. And I called him a few days ago. And he was some 75-year-old guy. And I just wanted to let him know, like, hey, somebody's out there using your address on their license. And I just wanted to know, do you know this person? And he said no. And then ironically enough, he said that he had been scammed out of a bunch of money and he was trying to forget about it.
Wow. So I want to go back to this picture right here.
Okay.
First of all, I thought this was in Russian. I zoomed in. This is not even a language. It's just gibberish. Most likely this is a ChatGPT picture or something along those lines. And then I looked at the skyline.
Right.
Do you see the Space Needle right here? So it would have had to be taken across this way or across this way.
Right.
So if you look at the photo, there's the water right here, and then you have the Space Needle. And so because the water is showing, you would have to be at an angle in order to take this picture. Does that make sense? You know, because they have the water in the background and it's catty corner.
Right.
And so I went through street by street, all the different apartments and all the different condos.
Right.
And one thing was interesting is almost every angle that I had of an apartment or condo, the view was blocked by real houses.
Right.
So I mean, these are real houses right here, townhomes. And so every apartment that I saw, the view to the Space Needle was blocked. Also, one other interesting thing that I saw is that if you look at this angle and this angle, right? This angle, nothing could really show the Space Needle other than on this street right here. But when I looked, there were no apartments on the street. And so I looked and I pulled all the apartments around the area, and I was not able to find any apartment that had the same view and the same architecture as the picture that she sent you. And so if you see right here, like the windows, see how high this is? I mean, this is like a high-rise building.
Right.
And I mean, it's almost halfway up, like through the Space Needle.
Right.
And there was just nothing that I found that was that tall that would give that view to the Space Needle. And so, I mean, you can conclude that like all these images are AI that she's given you. But you see where this is headed?
Right. It's not going to be good.
The other thing I want to talk about, the driver's license. One thing that spot out right away for me is that, see how the picture is black and white?
Right.
Your ID picture would never be black and white.
When I went to the DMV, I mean, they're the ones who issue these. Wouldn't they pick up right away? Like, even on the ID part, like, hey, it's not in color, this is wrong?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know who you talked to at the DMV, but the first thing that stuck out, like, I mean, that's a real picture.
Right.
And then this is a black and white photo that, by the way, doesn't even really look like her.
But then I just thought, well, maybe it's younger.
You're trying to verify everything. You're talking to somebody online, you feel like you're in love with them, you're investing with them, and then you're going to the DMV verifying a license because you're suspicious.
Right.
Like, that's not a healthy relationship anyway.
Right.
So there's this Chase document. And so we reached out to somebody from Chase and they said, there's no way this is a real document. This is the proof that you felt was enough to start investing because they had put the money in. So if you look at the wire transfer, and it's blurry, it's kind of hard to see, but it's missing the address for the business. You think you did, but you never put money in cryptocurrency. So the trade that you sent went to LinkPay. So that wire transfer that you had sent went to LinkPay and it didn't go into cryptocurrency whatsoever.
Okay, but here's the thing. In order for those balances to grow like that, I actually had to do the trade. She showed me what to click on and the time frame and all that, and to put the money in that we were putting on the trade. And then the counter counted down, and then it said, okay, you made this much.
They just had these pre-programmed numbers that when you would deposit money into the account or transfer money into the account, and then when they let you withdraw the funds, this is the real EDX, and this is EDX crypto. Do you see what they're doing? They're pretending to be a website. Like, that's the other part of this, is that when you're investing money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you want to make sure that you're working with a site that looks professional. I mean, this looks super janky, not professional whatsoever, and they're trying to be EDX, but this is the real EDX website. This website was created March 7th, 2025. When I looked at this is actually a mail center in Colorado Springs. So it's not an actual physical address, it's a mailing address. And in the mailing address, there's a unit number. So I was able to find a company called LinkPay Global at this address. So if you look right here, this matches the address that you were given. Essentially, they set up an account to be able to transfer the funds into, and the funds got forwarded to somebody else. So last week I reached out to LinkPay. And so I said, hey, I sent a wire to you guys for $289,000. I was scammed. I need to hear back from you, and nobody's responded whatsoever. And so this is the company that actually received your funds. So on LinkPay, it says that the person must do what's called a KYC request. Mm-hmm. So a KYC request is a know your customer request. So if you were to create any account, like a bank account, right? You would have to take a pic, you have to have your ID, you'd have to have your personal details and information. And so LinkPay is saying that they do the same thing. And so I'm hoping that the person that received your funds had done a KYC request with LinkPay. It's $289,000. It's not a small amount of money.
Right.
So what I think we can do is we can get law enforcement involved who can submit a subpoena to LinkPay to get the details of the KYC information, and we can find out who received the funds on the other end. You've been involved in what's called a pig butchering scam. And the way that these pig butchering scams work is that you meet somebody online. It's usually a text message, or you meet them through social media. This person developed a relationship with you. They showed a deposit on their end. They let you take some of the money out. Then when your guard was down, they pushed you to deposit a much larger amount of money into the platform, and they've disappeared. Mm-hmm. And so that's what a pig butchering scam is. And so this person's not behind this whatsoever.
Right.
Their pictures were just stolen and used to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really going to screw things up if I don't recover anything.
If you recover anything, it's a long road. I'm just going to be super honest with you. I've done this a lot. Recovery is very slow. We have an angle, so that's a positive thing, right? Mm-hmm. So when you leave here today, I'll give you contact information for law enforcement in Colorado Springs. You'll have to call them, file a police report, let them know you deposited funds into this business that's registered there. And then you'll show proof of funds that you deposit the money. We'll put a package together for you so you can submit it over. You already filed the IC3 report. And then hopefully that they move quickly and they can file a subpoena to get access to who received the funds.
Okay.
What's the game plan from here?
I don't really have one right now. It's just because I'm trying to think of what my life's going to be like if this plays out the way that it seems like it is, and it's a lot different than what I was planning on. you know, because I was planning on reinvesting that the way that I know how, that works, and living off the dividends. But if that's gone, then I have to, you know, go back to like a 9 to 5 or whatever to get money coming in again. Not that I wouldn't do it. I'm more than willing to go back to work if I have to. But it's just, that's not a direction I was planning on going.
It's a life change for sure.
Yeah. And I'm at the point now where my age is going to work against me because people think, oh, you're going to retire in 3 or 4 years. Well, not if I have to build everything up again. I'll work for 30 more years if I have to. You know, but I just, like I said, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking, okay, you're over here now, not you're going to start back here again and build up again.
It's a tough spot to be in.
So that's the part that I'm struggling with internally right now, is trying to think of a workable plan, because I'm a problem solver, you know, but it's going to take me a little while to work something out.
I mean, the good thing is, I mean, I don't know you super well, but you seem like a pretty resilient person, and you seem like a fairly smart person. And, you know, I think you'll be able to figure it out. Are you going to be able to figure it out this second? No. I mean, it's going to be tough, probably a little stressful, you know, but time heals everything.
Right.
And, you know, so take the next few days, you know, process this. If you need to talk to somebody in the meantime, you can reach out. I'll make sure you have my number before you leave today.
Okay.
But regardless, I'll follow up with you Tuesday or Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. Jim, it was nice meeting you.
You too. I really appreciate everything that you guys have done.
Seekers, it's almost time for our weekly live stream. Come hang out with our team and get a live update from You can find a link to our live stream on our YouTube channel by clicking the live tab and going to our most recent video. See you all there. If you have been involved in a romance scam, don't forget to report it. It helps get the word out and potentially stops other people from being scammed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, all of our new videos go out every Wednesday. If you like this video, subscribe. And if you want to see more, you should probably click one of these 2 videos.